So, welcome to Strategic Career Mastery. Um, what I intend doing today is basically asking a few questions, and from there we'll develop those themes, if you like, to understand how getting control of your career can move the whole sort of way that you think to becoming actually more of a business for yourself rather than a candidate. So career mastery is about having the control that you need to ensure that you can get the career that you want. You can actually attain what it is you want as opposed to having to accept what there is. The standard sort of career principles, the way career or jobs are dished out, if you like, you need a job, you look for them online, you go to LinkedIn, you see what there is, you see if there's anything that looks like it might be okay for you, you apply for it, you hear nothing back. You apply for another one, you hear nothing back. It's a whole sort of cycle of frustration. You know what you're good at, you know what you do, but but actually matching it in, marrying it into the opportunities that are there, getting the people that you're interfacing with, the recruiters, the internal recruiters mostly, to actually understand what it is that you have to offer, that's become really difficult. That's become, and there's a lot of reasons for that. I'll very briefly explain what those reasons are in a minute. It's become very difficult to actually get your message across. There is, there is still some semblance of opportunities being brought to you by recruiters, but again, how good are those recruiters? How good are they actually presenting what the opportunity is really about and identifying whether you are the right person for that? I was in recruitment for 20 years, so I've got a fairly good handle on how it works. And I also got a very good handle on how it evolved over those 20 years. Um, when I first started in 2003, I've been doing this for a few years since, but in 2003, there was no LinkedIn, or it just started. Social media was in its infancy, and people really didn't understand what social media could or could not do in the long term. Um, and the recruitment process that I became, if you like, I learned that I got involved with was all about me taking quality candidates into organizations and selling what it was that they could do for the organization to open up where there might be opportunities. And then when I have those opportunities, I then would go in and I would find the people that could fill those opportunities. So it was sort of like an iterative process. I would work with people that I know were really good at what they do. I would take that quality out into the marketplace, and I would open opportunities into the marketplace by selling that quality. It was called headhunting. It's as simple as that. That was that there's still a limited amount of that goes on, but it tends to be very few and far between compared to what it was back then. The other mechanisms for recruitment at the time, there were job boards. There was advertising. A lot of it was done in the press. The Telegraph was a big one for job ads. But there was a real market for the type of recruitment that I did, going out, knocking on doors, feeding quality into that. That process works. It worked in 2003. It still works today. Because if you have quality, if you have a solution to a problem, that solution will always open the door because, you know, organizations, companies still have those problems. And they are looking for people that can solve their problems. Even when you don't know there's an opportunity there, if you take a solution into them, they will give you an audience to hear about what you can offer for that. That is basically how you can get control of your career by understanding what the value is that you offer, how to articulate that value in a way that is going to get attention, who is the best audience for that. So where's that relevant? Who's going to be interested in what you do? And taking that message, articulating it to them. That will give you the how shall I put this? That will give you the audience that you need. That will give you the opportunity you need. It will open doors. I'm just going to, for the minute, take this off of share because it's you guys I want to talk to, not my computer screen here. So that will give you the audience that you need. It will allow you to get at people. Now, the other day I saw a post on LinkedIn. I wish I'd actually copied it so that I could show you today. I didn't. And it was a guy who said, "I've just landed a job for £180,000. I did it on the back of 27 telephone calls." And I thought, that's exactly what my process is about. He's taken himself out. There's only one way he could have done it. I didn't go into detail. I haven't spoken to the guy. I don't think he knows me, but he's implementing exactly what I propose that my clients should implement. He's taking his value. He's finding the people that value is important to. He's knocking on their doors, getting conversations with them, and proposing to them how he is a solution to their problems. And it got him a £180,000 career opportunity. That's the process. Now, from what I've said, it's, if you, let me just flick my slide onto the next one. You can't see these. So from what I've said, that sounds simple. It sounds almost too simple, but it works, and it will always work if you've got the value, if you can take that value out into the marketplace. There is a fundamental law that applies to everybody. It's the law of compensation. And the law of compensation, if you were to Google it, you'd find different versions of it. But I've chosen, or I'm working with the one that Bob Proctor, who he's sadly he died a few years ago. But Bob Proctor used to talk about the law of compensation a lot. He basically Proctor and Sandberg, I think. Is it Sandberg? Not Sandberg. Yes, it is Sandberg.
Gallagher. Yeah.
So, Gallagher, correct.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're right. I've got Sandberg on my mind because she's somebody that I quite often reference in my
Yeah.
presentations here. But it's Proctor Gallagher Institute, and basically they they're an institute that help people to understand how to get the life that they really want by understanding the principal law of attraction and how to use that law of attraction to move their move their life along, as it were. Now, I'm not doing what they do. I work from a careers perspective, but the objective of Careers Matter is that my clients will get the life that they want, and it is about living the life, the fulfilled, prosperous, rewarding life that we want by getting control of your career. So going back to the law of compensation, which is the version that Bob Proctor's given me. So the three components to the law of compensation, that what you do is in demand. What you do, you're really good at, and how difficult it is to replace you in what you do. If the first two are really strong, then it's really difficult to replace you. And that that will determine exactly the value that you have in the marketplace. So I'll say that again. That what you do is in demand, it's relevant, it's needed by people. So you have to determine exactly what it is you do that is in demand and who is going to want to know about that. You've got to get really good at it so that you're absolutely certain um, that you're bringing value into an organization, into that person. And then this is going to be very difficult to replace you, and you're going to be able to determine exactly what you want. Key, your question?
What if the demand is not recognized? Because I know that in my current job, what I do is in demand, it's needed, but it's just plain simply not recognized
Hmm.
by the leadership team.
Okay, I like that question because that means that, well, yeah, let's see how I can best answer that. The way I can best answer that is like this. How are you articulating what it is that you do that is really in demand? What's the value of it? Can you yourself um, give two or three fundamental reasons why what you do is vital? What have you achieved in it? How much impact have you had? What, how have you impacted the bottom line? That's the important thing. All of our jobs are about impacting the bottom line of a
Mm.
business in a commercial environment.
I
How have
think
you?
I think the difficulty there. So as an example, we're putting together a new MSA between business units because the company has just been merged with another one,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
They're not giving me the resources to do this major project with.
Hmm.
So it's just me and one other chap who doesn't have time really.
Yep.
So that's one.
Yep.
B, I've been writing to get some changes that I need for this project. I've been very carefully writing one pager business cases like I would like to get your attention for this to make sure that this is going to happen because otherwise we're going to fail at plan A. So I feel that I've put myself out there, I've made it visible. And the third thing I do is I keep informing people of what I do, how I do it, and where to find all the information that they need.
Hmm. Okay.
And it's
So
still not recognized as, you know, they still tell me that I don't know what you're doing.
they tell you you don't know what you're doing or you don't know what they're doing.
They don't know what I'm doing.
They don't know what you're doing. Why
Yeah,
have they employed you?
I know.
There are two ways you can deal with that. You know, you've heard the expression you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Yep.
Um, if you get to that point, you can find somebody who does value what you do. Why stay in a place where you're not respected, where you're not wanted?
Yep.
Um, and the power is with you to do that. anytime you like. You can take your message. If your business isn't listening to you, take it to somebody who is listening to you. The other one is maybe the one pagers aren't doing it because it's getting to the wrong people. I don't know. You know your business.
Yep.
Why don't you, rather than going to sending something out, why don't you bring people in? Bring them into a meeting, get them round a desk, uh, and work with them to understand how you, so what they want from you, and then show them how you're already impacting that. Because in my experience, one of the reasons why people, these sorts of things are missed is because you're just not visible.
I've done both, and I do bring them to the people. I do invite people in,
Hmm.
and it's still just not recognized.
Okay. Uh, okay. Uh, that's a question. That's a question we can take off the line because I
Okay.
can
Yeah.
see what you're doing. I
Thank
can
you.
see what, I can't see. I don't want to waste the time of the other people on
Yep.
one particular thought here, but you
Okay.
and I can take that one offline
Yep.
and see if I can help. If I, I'm not promising I can, but a lot of it is to do with actually showing them pounds and pence improvement in what they're getting from what you do. If you can show them how much money you're making for them or how much money you're saving them, then they'll listen.
Thanks.
I've seen your face that you do know that, but it's it's just a matter of making that really crystal clear. So that's that's a sort of philosophy, if you like, of Careers Matter. Take what you've got, understand the value of what it is, work out who it's relevant to, take your message to those people, and then you cease being a candidate for a job. You become a solution to a problem. And rather than looking for a job, you're now creating opportunities. You're now creating business opportunities. So let me ask a couple of questions here. Generally, where do you all feel that you are in your career right now? How do you, Key, I sense a certain frustration. What about other people?
Yeah, hi James. I think I kind of understand where Key's coming from, Keyvan's coming from, because it's kind of quite similar in my situation as well, where what I do is actually in demand, but then I don't feel appreciated. I get management going, oh, what's Queen doing? What's Queen and her team doing? Are they just faffing around? And, we do a lot, we save the organization a lot of money. But for some reason, and it's very frustrating how management can actually have visibility on the things that we do. Clearly, we even got so bad that we had to create Kanban boards or Jira boards, just to
Hmm.
be able to. With my role, I'm not supposed to be doing that, but just so that we can actually provide visibility to management in terms of what we're doing, we kind of had to be sort of petty, if you get what I mean, in terms of detailing everything, going down to the minutest detail just so that they can actually appreciate what we're doing. But clearly, it's still not working. And it's
Hmm.
it's very frustrating to be
Hmm.
in that kind of environment where you feel undervalued, underappreciated, and it'd be interesting to know what you have as a solution for Kevin because I'm in very similar situation as Kevin.
Hmm. Um, okay, and you heard a lot of what I said to Key a few minutes ago, and really, again, Queen, that's on a one-to-one basis, that's something that I can talk to you about personally. Um, the in general, though, what this is about is really understanding the problem that you're solving and being able to put that problem across or that solution across as you would any business proposition. I think one of the things that we've got to do, and this is true for Key's situation and for your situation and anybody else in this, is to stop thinking in terms of, you know, in terms of I'm an employee at this business, but start thinking in terms of I am a business solution for the organization that I'm working for. And that's only an organization I'm working for while that, if you like, is giving me what I need for my career, which is why I say you're in control because then you can move on when you like. You don't need to stay with the organization that you're with if that is not serving you. The trick there is to know that you can take what you've got into the market at any time and you can pretty much name your own price for what you do. This is a solution that I bring. This is the problems that I solve. This is the impact that I've had. I can do this for you. Should we talk? That type of a situation. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Um, Back to the question there, where do you honestly feel you are? This is generally again in your career right now. Are you doing what you really thought you were going to be doing? What did you think you were going to be doing? And how far away from that are you, if you like? So what's, if you like, the bigger frustration of all of this? Do you understand the question?
I think I do. I mean, going back to what Key and Queen has just said, I'm very much aligned with what they've just said, and I know I'm maybe jumping back to what they've maybe just covered, but what I've found is that in my role, I'm head of HR, for example. So I'm in an organisation, a very very large organisation, where the impetus is on sales and bringing profit in, and they see my role and my department, perhaps, and my function as a cost to the business. And so I've had to constantly try to educate them to say, well, actually, I do save the company a hell of a lot of money. In fact, potentially six figures each time if there's a tribunal, or to keep the company away from things like tribunals or breaches of employment law and
Mm,
things like that. And that's something that I'm forever having to do. And I don't know if this will help Key and Queen, is whenever I feel that I'm perhaps undervalued, or I feel that, I can see what people are earning when they come into the business and so on. And I feel a little bit undervalued perhaps, and think, well, I'm nowhere near that. And the volume of work I do, the responsibility I've got, etc. And what I tend to do is put together a proposal. And in fact, so much so that the company, or the heads of the company now, the CEO requests that if anyone does make a request, is to put a proposal together based on probably what I've done in the past. And I think sometimes it's a little bit of a stalling tactic, but also it tells them, well, if they're really serious about that, that's what they've got to do. And it's a case of, as you going back to what you said about maybe selling yourself, to say, well, look, this is the value I add. And I know you may not think I'm bringing sales or profit into the business, but I'm actually saving the company a hell of a lot of money, as well as things like the reputation and everything else that can potentially come out of that. So, yeah, I do think we do have to sell ourselves a lot, and we do have to go a long way to try and sometimes get where we are. And I think, going back to your question about how do you think, if you think you're valued and stuff, and what the frustration is, I think certainly from my perspective, sometimes it's the autonomy, but I guess it depends on where you work, in the culture and the environment and where you are. And for example, I've got a lot of responsibility, but perhaps the autonomy isn't always there. And it's not just for me, but there's senior directors within the organisation that feel exactly the same way. And that's sometimes down to the control that people sometimes want to have, whether it's the CEO or the heads, the second in command to that person. They want to have that control, and sometimes they don't really want to let go of that.
mhm.
And that's sometimes where the frustration can be. but again, I go back to what you said to Key about the fact that if you do all of that, and I've kind of come to the mindset of thinking, well, if I put my proposals forward and I show them my value, then I think perhaps, and they don't perhaps respond to that, then why should I stay somewhere where I don't feel I'm valued? Perhaps I should perhaps move on and go to
Yeah,
somewhere where I think it's probably beneficial.
absolutely. And just for the benefit of everybody else, Paul and I have had one-to-one meetings in the past, and he's actually is a customer of mine in so much that he's bought one of my courses. So he knows if you like ahead of where I'm going with this, if you see what I mean. Um, Paul, you have an ambition, don't you, to actually create your own business around this?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I've kind of halfway there or kind of on the way there, I guess. But yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And basically, if you like, that idea of becoming a business is fundamental to what I'm trying to get people to see for themselves. Whether you see yourself as a permanent employee or as a consultant or as a fractional uh, position within an organization, you can look at all of this in a business capacity. This is your business, and at any particular time, this is what I'm doing within my business. Now Paul is wanting to take his expertise within HR out into the market and sell that directly in a consulting capacity, as if I remember rightly. That's so I want to take my HR expertise, my specialist knowledge, and take that out and sell it directly. But going out and getting a full-time job, you are still selling your expertise into the market. It's just you're doing it on a full-time basis for a period of time. My own personal view, if I were looking at uh, where my career got to, if I went back then with what I had, I would probably go back into more of a contracting type of a role than working permanently for a company. Because working permanently for a company, you're tied to what that company's about. Their you're building their plans, their growth, not your own. Whereas if you're working within a contract, you take the jobs that you want and build where you want to get to. You know, uh, build on the responsibility, learn the capability to take it further, etc. And you're working for yourself the whole time. So that's. Does anybody else want to comment on where you feel you are with your career right now?
I, I can go if you want. So basically, I think the short answer to if you're saying that where I thought I'd be and where I am is probably you're right, and I'm not where I thought I'd be. Does that make sense? I don't know if you remember my situation. Basically, about a year ago, I was dismissed from my work, and obviously that's going to go through like tribunal and stuff. And since then, I mean, but I'll be honest with you, there was a time where, because of what I was doing for tribunal, I wasn't actually looking like fully, if that makes sense. But when after the time when I did start looking fully, what I would say is that basically it was a lot more difficult than I thought. I think the kind of like job market's kind of like changed
Hmm.
as and you kind of only see that once you're actually kind of like looking and stuff. I am actually working now, sort of you could say part time. It's a
Hmm.
local firm. It's a small. So obviously that's something. So that's at least I've got back into sort of the similar field. I used to be what we call a data center engineer, but this is now more it's there's a variety of like IT support, and they do things. Some of the things that we used to do, they're like data cabling and stuff like that. But it's not the same as what I was like, sort of one before or anything like that. So yeah, I'm just kind of working on like, working on that. But I would say that's not where I expect it to be. I expect it to be further. The other thing is there are some environmental changes in terms of like being a data center engineer. Like what I've noticed, where I used to work, it was pretty local, I suppose is the word, like about 40 to 50 minute drive and stuff. But
Hmm.
now what I've noticed is a lot of data centers they're just like really like far away. And okay, it might be partly a limitation that I'm setting up myself, but I really kind of don't want to travel. I don't know if you know like what the traveling's like out there, but I really don't want to travel that far every single day to actually do, like do that. So obviously, what I'm looking for is something local, but then I'm limiting myself if that makes sense.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty. If that's a short answer to what I'm saying. So I just want to apologise if it looks like I'm looking up into the ceiling, but it's just the screen's behind the screen I've got, and that's why it looks like. But I am actually looking at you, you guys. So I hope that's okay.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Most people don't look at the camera. I don't. I'm looking down at you because
I
that
did
makes it
notice that. I
difficult.
did
But
notice that. But yeah,
if you look at the camera, then people think that you're looking at them. So
yeah.
it's actually quite difficult to do that.
I feel kind of stuck because I'm a program manager. People don't know the difference between program and project manager, which is
Yeah.
is big. They feel that I can't make an impact in a short time because they just don't give me the chance. They don't even talk to me about it.
What sort of programs?
Big strategic programs. I work for an HR company,
Hmm.
so Paul may have heard of that one. Um, um, and I do technical program management. So I work for back-end projects, like
So you're looking at transformation and stuff.
expansion of the database,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
transformation projects,
yeah.
but also when we've bought up another company to do the client migration type stuff, and now the other way around, roll out internationally, that sort of stuff.
Hmm.
But they still treat me as a secretary and a note taker, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I feel that there's so many more things that I do, including budgets, including recruiting, including personnel management, and I manage more than one team, right? Because I do more than one project at the same time.
Hmm. Um, and I sort of empathize with that because I was both a project and a program manager in my technical career, which was so. If I a very brief checkered history of me, I left school, joined the Navy, left the Navy, went to work for British Telecom when it was the GPO, went back in the Navy, and then I came out and I worked for a company called Mercury, and I spent 10 years learning project program management. Ended up at a company called Energis. I was made redundant from that and got fed up with the whole process. So I went and got my own business in recruitment. And then I did 20 years as a recruiter, running a recruitment business, and then decided to do this, which is help people to actually get control of their own career and realize that there's a better way. That
Mhm.
you do not have to be in a system that doesn't work for you.
But the hard thing is, once you're a project or a program manager, try and find anything else, and they think you can't do it
Oh no,
because
you
you're
you
only a project manager.
you can be, you can do what you do any way you want to do it in any way you want to do it. Just don't be governed by their rules. Bring your own rules to play. What is it that when you understand what it is you really do that makes the difference, that has the impact? That's when you can actually take that and stop selling yourself as a program manager or a project manager. Save you to sell yourself as somebody that solves a particular problem,
Right.
that creates a solution for this is the service I offer you. Now, you can call it what you like then.
Hmm.
So rather than going in and saying, I'm a program manager, that's putting yourself into their pigeonhole. Create your own identity. Create who you are and what you do that makes a difference. That's where the value comes. That's when you make, that's when you can take that impact into the business, into the marketplace, then you can start getting real control of what you do.
Mhm.
Don't ask for a job. Don't ever ask for a job. When you have a conversation, it's a business conversation with somebody. When you're talking about what their challenges are and how you already know how to solve those problems because you've already done it. That's the type of conversation. Um, it's interesting how this has gone because it's not followed the script that I've got down here at all. uh, so if nothing fundamentally changed, would your career realistically take you into the life that you really want? That's now the point of that question is as simple as this. Your career and your life are inextricably linked. Unfortunately, I think there's so many people that think that their life and their career are separate entities. They can't be because your career enables your life. We need money to live. We need money to give us what we really want. And the more money we've got, the more we can live, the more we can do, the more we can give back, the better our lives can be. And so the career that you're in determines how much you can earn. Now, by career, I don't mean the job that you're doing. I mean whatever you choose it to mean for yourself in terms of how you're going to actually be earning or realizing that money. There are, I don't know if you've heard of the M1, M2, M3 money modeling, if you like. M1 is basically 96% of everybody, if you like. 96% of people are M1 money earners. That basically means they're trading their time for money. They are selling the limited resource of their time and getting paid for what they do. Usually that what they're getting paid is at the rate that they have no control of, and it's determined by somebody else. And the amount of time they can put into that is also determined by somebody else. So you go to a job, uh, you can earn the money that that job gives you, and that's it. You're not in any control of that. M2 is using money to make money. So M2 is investments and is that and in my humble opinion, and I wish I'd known this when I was a lot younger, you should be looking at how you can invest money to create an income from the very get-go. All of this pension nonsense, that's not how you drive value into money. You invest your money. You put an amount of money aside continuously into an investment project that is going to give you money back. That way, you never become fully dependent upon the job that you're doing. And when you're dependent upon the job that you're doing and only on that job, then you've got no control because as soon as you lose that job, you become desperate to get another job. So the M2 process is something that is vital. M3 is where you actually leverage your value to earn the money and can multiply it in what you do. Basically, it's running a business, if you like. The 1% of people that do that are the entrepreneurs, the billionaires, that is open to you. It's open to every one of us. Any one of us can become M3 in our earning ability. My particular, so I sort of move that to S1 and S3. M2 remains the same, but S1 and S3. S1 is the if you like, I don't know why I call it, it's I don't know where I got S from, but it was because it's career oriented and it's more of a success type of an arrangement. What I'm trying to get people to understand is that they can use what they do in the as their job to create more opportunity and money to become more of an S3 type of a player, or so that you can actually leverage it. And then you take what you do into the market and sell it for what it's worth, and then you can take it to who you want to take it to. You don't have to do a single job. You can do consultancy, taking what you do into different organizations. You can demand your own rate for it because you know what you're worth. I once worked with a guy who was a consultant. He charged 3,000 a day for his consultancy. Many of you may have worked for organizations, let's say like Capgemini or Accenture or any of those big ones. They are selling you at those sorts of rates, whereas they're paying you 500-600 a day. You can sell yourself at those rates. You are able to determine your own value in the market, but only if you understand the value, going back to the law of compensation, the value that you have to offer. How in demand is what you do, so you take that to the people that need it. How good you are at doing it, you get very good at doing it. And you keep working on how good you're at doing it. How relevant is it? You stay relevant. You stay on top of everything that you do. And then you can name your own price, pretty much, because there's nobody else that can do what you can do. That's the law of compensation. Now, that's an idealized version of it, but within that context, there are many program managers, you can say, but there are very few that do what you do, that can bring what you bring to the table. And that's what you've got to determine. That is what the Career Mastery program is about. So going back to what I was saying there, if nothing fundamentally changed, would your career realistically take you to the life you want? That's it's a general question. It's almost rhetorical. If anybody wants to comment on it, feel free. But is your career giving you the life that you really want? So I am going back to showing my screen for a second because I want to talk about. Basically, this I'm about a third of the way through the content that I wanted to get through today, but we're 3/4 of an hour into the meeting, and I don't want it to drag on. What I do want to do is talk about the course that Paul already knows about. So let me just find where I share this again because it's not here, it's here. Right. Hopefully you can all see that now. Let me just move this out of the way. So, Strategic Career Mastery Foundation course for taking real control of your career. This course is the process that gives you control of your career. It's the course itself is standalone. It's designed to be part of a program, and the program is being developed. I'm basically going to put together six modules, if you like, not modules, live sessions that I will provide on a separate basis as part of a program. At the moment, the course is there, the course is available, and if you buy the course, you'll be offered the program at a later date, probably within the next 3 or 4 weeks when I've got all the components together for what I want to do. At the moment, the course is £67. It comprises 4 modules. The first module is to take you into creating that value, basically understanding what it is that you do, what it is you want to do, giving you the idea of your value into the marketplace, and then developing that on to actually understand what it is that you've achieved that is marketable, and then how do you articulate that in such a way that is going to get people to want to speak to you, to talk to you about it. The course has got all of the components for how to do that all the way through. So I've just covered 3 modules, by the way. So that's how to understand and articulate what it is that you really are, how to develop that into the value, the actual value that you have to offer, then how to take that value into the marketplace effectively. And the final module is how to keep that going on an ongoing basis, networking. Because the module 3 is really how do you build an effective network. Module 4 is how to maintain and continue to operate that effective network. That's the course. Paul can tell you whether or not he feels it's any good. He's if he doesn't like it, he can say he doesn't like it, and I will have to make it better. But effectively, the idea here is that this is everything that you need. You can do it yourself through this course. It even has within it a complete process document for actually working that through. And today, that course is £67. Monday it's going to be £249. The reason for that is that the £67 is the introductory offer. I want to get it out to some people. I want to get some feedback from people on that. I've got a few people that have bought it. And I've got to end that offer at some point, and it ends on Monday. So that's where that course is right now. There is a 7-day money back guarantee. You can go buy the course. You get a week to look at it. If you don't like it, ask for your money back. You'll get your money back. There's no problem. There won't be any questions. If you like what you've got, if you think it's going to serve you, then great. Let's work together in the future. That's basically it. How do you get the course? Well, you are going to be sent details of that. Whoops, let's go the other way. But if you wanted to access it now, that QR code will take you to the sign up for the course, and it will give you some of the benefits of and components of what's in it as well. So that's it. Are there any questions?
Is this a live session?
Sorry, excuse me, let me just turn that up again. Say that again.
Is this a live session?
The course is a series of modules. It's a
Recorded.
digital course. It's a digital course. There are recordings, there's text, there's audio sections, there are videos. Okay, so there are various components. So I have done one of the modules, the one on networking, is basically a 70-minute presentation that I did similar to this, where I actually worked through the whole process of it. I've got video components to it. There are audio components, and there's text for the whole thing. And
So basically, you can do it in your own time.
You can do it in your own time. There's no, you can do it in your own time. It is.
How long is the whole training?
You could probably get through it in a week, but it's going to take you a lot longer than that to get to actually implement it. You implement it, you basically go through each section of it. You build up your own value proposition. You then create how to put that value proposition into the type of messaging that you want to go out to people. You identify who you want that message to go out to. You then knock on their doors, you suggest meetings for them and things like that. So from that perspective, it's as long as you take to do it. You can read through the course in a few days, but to implement it, I'm looking over there because that's where your picture is, sorry, but to implement it, it's going to take you several weeks. The idea is that when I've got this as a program, it will run over 3 months. Let me.
What about one-to-one sessions?
Okay. I have one-to-one sessions that I offer. I have I could arrange. I don't have one-to-one sessions on this particular course at the moment. I've got another program that runs one-to-one sessions, but I can talk to you individually and I can put something together individually. So that can easily be done. Yeah, no problem at all with that.
And that would be at extra cost, I suppose.
Well, of course, yeah, the program will be at an extra cost. Even the group program that this will designed to run at will run at extra cost. So the objective or the idea is that you can buy the course standalone. That's going to be 249. It's 67 today. Then each month there'll be run over a 3-month period. Each month will be £247, and there'll be 2 live sessions in each of those. If you were to do this individually, it's going to be a bit more than that, because of course I've got no multiplier on the time.
So, James, are you saying for the group session, it would be an additional 247, and then you
A
have
month.
2 live, yeah, 247 a month, and you get to have 2 live sessions every month, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, that's what it will be. That's what the program will be when I've finalized it.
Okay, okay. And then the one-to-ones?
The one-to-ones, the one-to-ones are currently going to at £480 per live session.
And how long is that session for?
The session is for 1 hour.
Can you repeat the amount for one-to-one?
So let me put it this way. I said £480. It is £480, but let me put it this way. The whole, if you're buying a program, then there's a bespoke element to that, and I will control the price accordingly. So when I say a single one-to-one session is £480, if you were to buy a group of 6 off me, then it's not £480. If you see what I mean. So Queen, did you look at the course that I sent you yesterday, the offer that I sent you yesterday? Did you get to look at that?
No, not really. I just had a quick scan through it, but
No.
I've not taken my time to
If
understand
you were to look at that's my Career Essentials program that I've got currently. What I do with the Career Essentials program is I offer it as either a one-off price of £1,000, just under £1,000, and for that you get 4 live sessions, 1-to-1.
Okay.
If I were to extend that to over 3 months, it's then £400 a month or £399 a month, and you get an additional 3 live sessions. So you get 7 live sessions, and it runs over 3 months. So that's for my Career Essentials program. The Career Essentials program works with a different course, slightly different course, but it's slightly different structure. This one will be similarly priced and will be over the 3 months. And it will, but I haven't put the whole package together yet. And when I put the package together, it will become clearer to me and to you exactly what's on offer for that. At the moment, the idea is that I'm offering this. It's partly why it's on a reduced price at the moment. I'm offering this because I want to get this particular program out there, get some feedback and adjust it, and then work out exactly what I need to add to the program to make it a complete package. Does that make sense?
What's the time for each session?
Each session, the session length, will be 45 minutes, but there is no real limit on it. It will run as long as it runs. So it'll take between 40 to 60 minutes usually, these sessions.
Even for
We've
one-to-one
been running
session,
this for an
1
hour,
hour.
for example. We've been running this for an hour, for example.
Is there flexibility in terms of when the live sessions commence, or
Yeah.
is there a fixed time to
No,
it?
there's if I'm doing it one-to-one, it's completely down to you.
Okay. Okay.
If I'm doing it as a group, then we arrange them as a group.
Okay. Understood.
Are you still there, Paul? No, I think he's I think he's left us. His Marcus still online, but I think he's stepped away for a minute.
Hi, yeah, sorry, no, I just had someone at the door. Sorry, it's
That's all
sorry.
right. Okay. Um, I was just going to say, because this is completely open. You've seen the course. Have you
Yeah.
got any comments on it that
You know, I think it's very thorough. I mean, bearing in mind that I've been in HR for quite some time, but what I found from the course was that even maybe as even as things that you would perhaps take as common sense, it kind of highlights what you need to do in order to sell yourself in terms of how you would market yourself to a potential employer. And it gives you kind of snippets and bits to do. And I mean, I thought I had a pretty good CV set up with all the history and experience that I've got. And having gone through that, I've literally changed the whole thing because of that. So I found it really, really useful.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Has anybody? So, as I say, that's on offer till Monday. What I can do, if anybody wants to have a one-to-one with me to discuss anything further, drop me an email and I'll send you a link to set that up.
Okay, I think I'll be doing that, James.
Yeah.
I'll need to drop off now. I've got a
In
meeting.
fact, what I'll do is I'll adjust. Yeah, I'll adjust the email that I'm going to send out to you when I
Okay.
put and I'll put a link on so you can set yourself up a meeting.
Okay.
I will hold that £67 for all of you people on this course until the end of next week. Everybody else is going to pay 250 from Monday. You guys, till the end of next week, I'll hold it at £67.
Thank you, James. I appreciate
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
James.
you.
Yeah.
You've already got it, Paul. You
Yeah,
haven't
I
did it yet.
know. It's good.
I need to drop off now, James.
No, that's
I'll
okay.
reach out to you when I'm able to. Thank you so much for your time. I do appreciate it.
No problem whatsoever. And thank you, everybody, for attending.
Thank you.
Thank
Cheers
you.
then.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye
Goodbye,
now.
everybody. Take care.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.